The next game is called Amazons. The game itself is mathematically unsolved, meaning even a computer cannot give you the best gameplay with the corresponding best result, at least from the starting position. Meaning, on the upside, even I cannot tell you what is the best strategy playing this game, and consequently, even you could beat me with a better strategy. So it has a huge potential, but at the same time, you need to have a really good strategy for the game. The game itself is coming from Argentina. It was invented 40 years ago on a 10x10 board. We are just adapting it on our chessboard, which has the size 8x8. We need 4 Amazons on each side, and I used chess queens to illustrate the game principles better, but as usually you don't have 4 queens on a chess set, you can also use pawns. That's what I did, because we have 8 pawns on each side. You just need to remember that they move like chess queens because they are Amazons. So what is the gameplay? First of all, you need to move as white, then black plays, and white, then black, and so on. You cannot beat the opponent's Amazons. You can only try to, well, block them. So what you could do, I give you an example. We start with this Amazon, we move it to f6. If you don't know how a chess queen moves, it just moves, for example, in each direction as far as it wants. It just needs to go on a straight line. And it can move as long as there are no obstacles, but in this game there will be obstacles, so therefore I will just show you briefly. This is the pattern of a chess queen. And let's get back to the position. For example, white makes this move, Amazon to f6. You cannot take the opponent's queens, so what's next? First of all, the move is not over yet. You have to shoot your arrow. And you have to shoot, it's not just mandatory, it's obligatory. You have to do it. So we shoot our arrow in any direction that the same Amazon that moved could move again. So these are the squares that the Amazon could potentially reach in its next move if it would play again. And on any of the squares it can shoot its arrow. So let's say that we shoot the arrow to f7. Now it's black again. And let's say black plays this one. Again, this queen or this Amazon has to shoot again, and therefore, let's say it shoot to b3. Now it's white's turn. White cannot get past the opponent's Amazons, queens, and at the same time it cannot pass through these arrows. It holds the same for black, so it doesn't matter who shot the arrow, you cannot pass through a square which has an arrow on it. That means this move isn't possible, at the same time this move isn't possible. That means that you can potentially entrap the other side. And another move could be white plays like this and shoots an arrow to e7. Now it's black's turn, black can play here and shoot an arrow here, and so on and so forth. And then we continue the game until, well, the end game, and finally at some point there won't be any squares left. Once we get to this point, the side that cannot move any longer loses the game. So the first side who's trapped and cannot play any decent move, legal move, loses. I'll give you an example of a game, how it can continue. So there we have, an advanced game. This game has, it's already won for white, and I will explain you why. So white has a certain pocket here, and this pocket belongs only to him because black cannot get into this pocket. That means whenever white likes, he can still play 10 moves, so it moves the Amazon, shoots to the backside, moves, shoots the backside, and so on, and he can use 10 moves in this area. At the same time, black has only one move for this Amazon, and on the other side, this is well, an area that is controlled by both. So as long as white doesn't waste his bunker here, but instead wastes the well, the squares that are controlled by both sides, it is pretty well won. And that's the whole game. Now I'll give you some examples from my own course and games. So this is an example of a pretty smart white player and maybe an unexperienced black player. So the black player was already trapped. He has these 4 Amazons, as you see, and they have only a few squares left until the game is done. Whereas white, he has a lot of squares left for both, for all 4 of its Amazons, and therefore the game will be soon over once these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves are gone. Then black cannot move any longer and loses the game. If we have 2 equal leveled players, then we get some position like this, where we have the whole board well, filled with arrows. You cannot move any longer, except in this case we have only 2 squares left. Here it is white to move, so white has to take a move with any of its Amazons. Then the left over square will be shot with the arrow, because you have to move to shoot an arrow as well. Then it's black's turn, black does the same, then it's white's turn again, but he cannot do any legal move and he loses the game. So in the end, I'll give you another example. The whole game is basically who will have the better strategy and who can well, put it on the board. In this case, we have an example where both players had the same strategy, namely they wanted to make a barrier and entrap the white Amazons here. This will be also one of the tactical position where I analyze this position further. But so far, this is an example where both players had the same idea, but one player was wrong in the idea, in the assessment, whether it is good for him. And this player obviously lost the game. I will, well, explain this position further, but for this introductory video, we are already done. You can reread the rules again, they are on the screen. And otherwise, just pick a board, pick an opponent, and test your strategies, and good luck.